Alexa, who is Adam Ferrara?
Adam Ferrara is an American actor and comedian known for playing the roles of Chief Needles Nelson on Rescue Me, Sergeant Frank Fiorelli opposite Edie Falco on Nurse Jackie. He was a co-host on the U.S. version of Top Gear. He has had 3 Comedy Central specials, and his new album Unconditional is Interrobank's Comedy Album of the Year. He is currently launching the Adam Ferrara podcast.
Sounds like it could be funny.
Sounds to me like 30 minutes you'll never get back.
Where the hell have you been? I'm sorry. I was worried, and when I was worried, I take it out on you. I don't like that about myself, and it's something I have to change. Which is what we're going to get into in this episode, is change. Our guest in the ADD interview is the former Queen of Mean, stand-up comic and now life coach, Lisa Lampanelli. And I want to welcome everyone from our Talk to Me Tuesday family, which is a show we do on Facebook every week, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific. Go to my website and click the link, and we'd be happy to see you there. Superfan shoutout is for Joy in Minnesota. Hello, Joy, and thank you for being with us every week. Change is what we're talking about today. Charles Darwin said the species that will survive is not the strongest, not the smartest, but that which can adapt to change. He also kept eating bacon and died of heart disease.
He didn't want to change.
Well, I can't blame him. Bacon is delicious. And I don't want to change either if change means I can't be with the people I love. My beautiful wife, Alex, is here.
Hello.
Hi, Alex.
My lifelong friend, writer, comedian, slave to the rhythm. Phil Tagg. And my pal and pod producer, Marcus Stern. Triple P.
And I'm a slave to Phil's rhythm. Everybody knows that.
Everybody knows it.
And that's where you will stay.
I just can't make my feet behave.
I'm very excited about Lisa being on the show. I love her.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
She's great.
She is. And she changed. But just to announce that I am not very good with change. I have a wife raising her hand right now who wants to tell you all about it.
Did she change or did she evolve?
Good. Better word.
That's actually a great way to put that.
She did. Yeah. See, that's great. That's great. Changing the word? I'm sorry, evolving the word? That's great. That makes it sound, it's less fearful for me if you look at it as evolution, because it looks like something that's naturally going to happen.
Yeah, you can deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a much more positive way to say that rather than, a change or quitting or, also reinventing is a good way to say that.
Yeah, I like that word.
Yeah, reinventing.
My biggest change is I've had loss, rejection, disappointment, but the biggest change I had to make was when I got married, because I didn't think there was anything wrong with me. And then my wife had a list.
That's one.
Adam, do me a favor. Don't scratch your back on the wall like a bear.
Oh, that was funny. That was funny.
What?
I'm like,
you're not supposed to do that?
Yeah.
I've seen you do that.
Yeah.
You do. You scratch your back on the wall. Yeah. I have to repaint this wall
When
now.
your back itches, how can you get there? You go to the back of the wall.
Get a back scratcher.
I
How
do.
about this?
It's called the wall.
How about this? Learn this phrase. Honey, can you scratch my back?
yeah, I would do
How
it.
about that?
And what if she's not there?
She'll be there. She's always there for you.
When
I'm
I'm
never going to scratch your back. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
I was scratching I was talking to the tile guy. We were doing something at the house, and the tile guy was sitting there. I was like, yeah, okay, now whenever you want. And I leaned up against the corner. And I started scratching my back.
How do you look at you?
He looked like, oh, can I do that? My back itches too. He's a guy.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness.
I did it on a tree once when we were walking.
Yeah.
And that's what
Like a bear.
Yeah, like a bear.
He is. He's an animal. He's a wild animal. You ever see him eat?
Yeah, Phil doesn't like the way I eat in his kitchen. We were watching a game, and I went in the kitchen to make something, and you're like, okay, hold on.
Yeah.
I'm just going to make some tuna. Hold on.
Yeah, hold on.
You don't. I got to just. I said, really? Well, all right. Where can I work, Ma?
Ma.
At one point, you looked at me like I killed someone, and you were like, Get the hell out of the kittion.
I did, yeah. I said, get out of here.
You were like, get out of here.
I did.
I'm making tuna fish. I was like,
did.
okay, all right.
I looked at it. I said, look, I already have a wife.
He does make good tuna fish.
Yeah, I was making tuna fish.
You do, how you do it might be suspect, but whatever you make
it's disgusting.
turns out good.
There's nothing suspect about it.
That's why I don't like, it's like when I'll cook for my wife and I'll go upstairs. Because I don't want to be corrected while I'm doing this. I don't want
it's a hodgepodge of everything.
I will say this. You do make one of the best salads I've ever had in my life.
Thank you.
Yeah. I don't know what he does with that. He takes like an hour and a half. There's beets and all kind of stuff in there. That's like
he assembles well.
Really, I was like, what's in this? This is amazing.
Yeah.
Opium. I shred the opium. But yeah, but change for me, it's fear. It's fear of the unknown and change. So that's why I don't like to change. But my wife is very optimistic with change. I'm sorry, the way she evolves.
Yes.
That reminds me, I have to evolve the oil in the car. But that was the biggest change in my life, was when I got married, to be a better man for my wife.
Mm-hmm.
It's not working out that well. I'm doing the best I can.
You're doing a great job.
But
Yes. If we love someone, we want to be the best we can be.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to hurt their feelings.
For
we
that
want to care
person.
for them.
See, but that's the thing. I didn't know I was hurting your feelings until I did. And then you did, and you're like, I can't do that again.
Yeah.
Well, you're not hurting my feelings when you're scratching your back. I'm just like going, come on. Would you grow up in a barn?
I guess I did. I guess I always wanted the Virgin Mary to say, shut that door, Jesus. What, were you born in a barn?
Goodness.
Marcus, what was the biggest change in your life?
I think it was when I got into broadcasting, into radio. I was, I think, 27, 28, and I was in a job I hated. I was miserable in everything in my life, and it was one of those self-examination times in your life where you just look and you're like, what do I really want to do? And I had no experience in radio. I'd never done anything like that, but I knew I sort of had a dream to do it. So I quit my job. Everybody called me a moron. I moved to New Hampshire. It was terrifying, but it was unbelievably rewarding. It was those years, the first years I did it, were probably the happiest years of my life. It was just fantastic.
Because of the challenge of it, you were excited about that you were actually doing it?
Yeah, and it was like new frontiers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I always tell people sometimes you got to find a new hill to climb.
And that hotbed of New Hampshire radio.
Yeah, Lake Winnipesaukee, kids.
Lake Winnipesaukee?
Oh, yeah.
I've never been to New Hampshire.
WLKZ Oldies 105. My first shift was from 7 to midnight, and it was such a small station, I literally had to turn the radio station off before I left. And we were off the air. Like then, until the morning guys came in and turned the power on.
That's
and we
really
started
great.
at like 6 a.m.
Welcome to Showbiz, kid. Lock up when you're done.
Yeah, lock up.
Listen to this. Mark,
So, yeah.
whatchamacallit, when I was living in Hong Kong, my girlfriend was running a radio station. She said, can you fill in for me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what do I have to do?
Wow.
What do I have to do? And she says, just go in there, press this button at this time, and this button at another time. But don't push the other button.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, yeah, I can handle that.
Right.
So I pushed the button, everything's going. And I guess my dyslexia kicked in and I
Uh-oh.
pressed the other button because all of a sudden, like about 20 minutes go by, get a phone call. What's going on there? There's silence on the radio.
Yeah.
I killed it.
You killed Radio Hong Kong? Dead air.
So you
Dead
pressed
air.
the dead air button. Here's my question, though. Why is the button even there? Why is it even there?
Why is it there, Mark?
You know, that's a great question.
Yeah, why isn't it like a big, gigantic red
It
button?
should have
not
like
to
a
press it.
casing over it or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there should be like a glass case.
Two
that's, you know,
keys should turn, like in NORAD, you know?
Yeah.
Something like that, you know what I mean?
Turn your key! Turn your key!
With the gun to your head. How do you ask somebody who doesn't do that to just step? Listen, I'm a NASCAR driver. My back aches. Can you drive the car for me? I'm not a NASCAR guy.
Well, she said, can you take my shift? Don't push this button.
Yeah.
You mean that one?
That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. So I forced change on her.
You did. You forced change on her.
You did.
Yeah.
Forced evolution on her.
That's it.
I was her messenger.
That's good. Philip,
It's hysterical.
what was your biggest change?
That's a tough question. Let's see. I have a kid. I was divorced twice. My father died. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I know nothing about change.
Okay.
Nothing whatsoever about change.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to say having a son
Right.
We have to change.
was the biggest change in my
That's
life.
what I hear all the time.
But I will tell you, you did get your figure back.
That's hysterical. Yeah, and you know Michael. He's a gentleman. He's
Yes,
a great
he is.
kid.
He
He's
did a great job.
And so did my ex-wife Rita. She did. So having a son and that unconditional love, I think, is the biggest change. I think the most recent change is getting sober. That for me was a big deal. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because
the judge thought it was a good idea.
Yeah, the judge recommended, and I just surrendered. I reached a point to where I knew I couldn't do it anymore. It was affecting my job, and I don't want to really mention where I was working, but I was doing stand-up.
Why? You're not working there anymore?
Yeah, and That's right. I was like, you're going to have to leave. You know? Yeah.
But yeah, change is hard. Evolution's a better way of looking at it. But either way, it's something that I really commend Lisa for doing, and I really want you guys to hear this.
Okay.
You're listening to the Adam Ferrara podcast. This is 30 minutes you'll never get back.
Hi guys, I just wanted to give you the next couple of stand-up dates. If you are in Arlington, Virginia, I would love to see you. I am going to be at the Draft House August 16th and 17th. Then I'm going down to Florida. I'll be at the West Palm Improv August 22nd through the 25th, and then up to Atlantic City. I'll be at the Hard Rock August 26th through the 29th. Come down, see a show, play some blackjack. But always split eights. They're a lousy hand. If you can make any of these gigs, I always do a meet and greet after the show. I'd love to shake your hand and thank you for all the love and support you've shown me and this podcast. So thanks for spreading the word and leaving us a good review whenever you can. All right, that's enough. Go on, get out of here. Listen to Lisa.
Pay attention when I'm talking to you, boy.
ADHD, it's not just for kids.
Nice boy, but doesn't listen to a word you say.
Welcome to the ADD interview. It's not that you're not interesting, it's just that I can't focus. And my guest this week is... Oh, look, a bird! My guest this week is a dear friend, a great comic, and even a better person.
Aww.
Yes, she used to be the queen of mean. Now you're the queen of meaning?
Yes, I am. Lisa Lampanelli, now the queen
right.
of meaning. Look at me, I'm terrific.
You started a stand-up, that's where we met.
Yes.
And you were the queen of mean, but I knew you as a person, and I'll be honest, you're not mean.
Yeah, it's funny because mean is the first thing I used to go to when either hurt or angry or upset and fearful. But then it became so lovable on stage that no one got mad at me. And if they did, they were such a small portion of the audience that I was just like, oh, this is just like Rickles, how Rickles could just get away with anything and you knew he loved you.
By the way, met him, gave me a big hug. Nice guy.
The best. It's funny because the Friars...
You knew him, right?
Well, not knew him, but I met him 3 times, and he actually remembered me, which I was like, he meets so many people.
Right.
That was like the second time I met him, because the Friars had set us up to meet and have a meet and greet, and he goes, oh, I know you. You're the one who does like I do. And he hugs me, and I'm like, oh my God, what a great guy.
Yeah.
And remember what they used to say, he and Newhart were best friends.
They was, yeah.
And Newhart was like, in real life, I'm the a-hole. Mm-hmm. And Rickles is the nice guy. So they kind of were the opposite of how they were on stage. So I think when you say I was always nice, it's like, I'm sure a few hotel clerks will argue with you that I was nice when I was in a bad mood. But I think you had to be nice to be able to get away with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but I don't think it was, you didn't manufacture nice. That's who you were.
Yeah, I don't think you can fight it.
And it's still who you are.
Right.
So you gave up stand-up.
Yeah.
And brave. Brave for me because my identity is so connected to my work. Because the best version of me is on stage.
Right.
When it's just coming through me, I can't think. Anxiety's gone. Best version of me.
Right.
If that's taken away, or if I stop doing that, kind of don't know who I am.
That's interesting because I think I have to take almost everything away to figure out who I am from scratch. So I dove right. I figured what would happen was the joy was leaving stand-up.
Right.
I figured, okay, let me retire from insult comedy, do storytelling, and do this life coaching. Really, when I had my last few stand-up shows, I was like at my wit's end. Because what happens with stand-up, you don't cancel your contracts, even though you want out.
Yeah.
So basically, I said to my manager the year before I retired, I said, look, I want out, but I know we have these contracts a year out. I'm going to be like how Tina Turner was when she made it big again with What's Love Got to Do with It. She still kept her contracts with the Holiday Inn little clubs and lounges. She had honor. I said, so we're keeping all these contracts. But by the time I was done, I was snapping on people. There's a famous YouTube video of me just screaming at some guy in San Jose, the craziest freaking night of my life. I was like, oh, okay. So I got to put this thing down and I got to get out of it. I mean, I was already, knew that was my second to last date, But by then, it was pretty obvious that, oh, this is the right move.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I did like about I saw the video and
crazy,
it was
right?
crazy.
Comics loved it.
I loved it. Not only did I love it, but I love what you did after it. What you did after it. You owned it. You came up and you went, yeah, I snapped. And the one thing you said about the whole incident when TMZ got you, said,
I loved it.
I said, look, I'm sorry it happened, but I love the way I look because I lost all the weight.
Totally.
Right.
Who's prettier than me yelling at
That's
people?
Right. Another thing I admired about you when I watched you work was how you could ride the energy.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people think, oh, you're just talking. No.
Exactly.
You're harnessing those energy of that entire arena.
Right.
And you're riding that thing and you're taking them with you. You're not thinking about it, but there is an element of control when you're directing an audience's emotion. And it comes with a trust issue. You know, first thing I learned when I go on stage is I'm not here to get them to laugh first. I'm here to get them to trust me.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
But it's also trusting ourselves that no matter what happens, we can handle it. And that's why I thought it was hilarious that TMZ picked it up, because I thought it was great. Like, there's just something fun about owning screaming at somebody, even if there's pain there. So I liked that you could hear pain in my voice, the pain of somebody interrupting me, the pain of feeling unworthy and pushed aside and not good enough. All that's getting riled up by that guy. And I go, ooh, that's good for me to work on this the rest of my life or however long it takes.
And you notice that on stage.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're wired to be that open in front of an audience.
Yeah.
You know, it was weird. I had a horrible fear of learning how to act, and I didn't know why, because I was afraid I wasn't going to be funny anymore.
Right.
Because when we first start, we don't know why we're funny. We just, wow, look what we can do.
Right.
And then when you learn how to act, I was afraid because I wasn't being funny anymore.
Yeah.
What I was really afraid of was letting somebody else in.
I just got like a pit in my stomach when you said that, because that's so hard.
Yeah.
Like first of all, I am not brave enough to be like a real actor. Like, I had to take acting lessons for 6 weeks at Yale to act like myself. So I'm like, I'm just not meant to do
We
this.
want a Lisa Lampanelli type.
Type, but not you, necessarily. So that's like really hard. But also just going, I have to like look at them and let them in.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I'm not ready for a male-female relationship, because I'm like, how am I going to look at a guy and be who I am? Won't he think I'm like super weird, or will he be like, ew? So it's just kind of going, all right, someday I'll be ready to take the first step, allowing somebody to see you.
It's cool that you notice that, like when you look at a guy, it triggers that thought pattern in your head.
Yeah. You know what's funny? My dance teacher, I take ballroom dance now, which is like the only place that I feel like I'm in the moment. My dance teacher's from Serbia. He's this little skinny, cute, nice straight guy, married, adorable. And he goes, Lisa, and hugs me. And I do the pat on the back thing. And he goes, a real hug. Like, he's like, I'm not putting up with that fake, inauthentic, unvulnerable bullshit. And I have to actually hug him. I have to look him in the eye. Do you know how scary it is for someone who's grown up to have armor on, to actually look a guy in the eye and do a salsa? I'm like, oh my God, ew, what's going to happen?
We're connected. I don't have to move my hips.
Oh, I know. Gross. And then I'm like, oh, I did it once, so I guess I could do it again,
That's great. You know where the monsters are, and you're going after them.
I know, because I think I can't learn unless I do. Like, it's really easy for me to say to women when I'm coaching them, like, oh, open up to your husband. Tell him what you want. Tell him what you need. And then I'm like, yeah, good work, Lisa. You're sitting at home with a 7-pound dog named after Sarah Jessica Parker. You're really fucking vulnerable. Although vulnerability started with the dog.
Right.
Because I literally...
You dance with the dog.
What kind of? But isn't it interesting how, like, I think that dog almost ruined my life in a way, because I can't stay shut off from people or dogs anymore. Like, I think one dog opened my heart to another freaking dog. Now it's kids, not ugly toddlers, but everybody else. And I'm like, you know what? Like, Parker either ruined my life or made it better.
Yeah,
I can't
it's
figure out
like
which.
my wife. I was like, I love you. You've destroyed my life. I tell that all the time. I said, I can't stand you.
How did you do, like, how did you get, like, where you could be open to real love?
It was a slow process by realizing what I was doing to keep myself from feeling it. And what I was doing to keep myself from feeling it was anger, was identifying with a belief system that this is the way it is because this is where I came from. And what shifted it for me was I came home, I was yelling one day, I came home, she cried. And I was like, what the hell kind of man am I? from our parents, we get all stuff written on our hard drive, and then we react rather than respond, and then we blame, and then you got to self-examine. So I think that's just where we are down this road.
Right.
What I got is the fear, the vulnerability of change and looking at yourself. When my family saw vulnerability, they would yell because they would get scared.
Yes.
For me.
Right.
To be open and under attack. I mean, I grew up basically in a Scorsese movie.
Yeah.
It was a crime family without the money, power, or influence.
Right.
But it was the mental
Well,
state.
see, that's what I think, too. It's funny. The vulnerability is, like Brene Brown says, it's just the bravest thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But who isn't scared about saying, I love you? That's friggin' hard.
Yeah.
Now, do you had relationships and dated? What was the difference with this one?
Difference between this one was this one. This one I got now.
the one you
one
have
I
for
got now.
until I'm fully ready to date you.
It was the difference for me from have to want to. It
Wow.
was, everything else was have to. Everything up to that point in my life was have to. She smiled at me, and I went, "That's mine."
Oh my God.
And I hit her in the head and dragged her back to my cave.
Did you ever think, though, that was possible? Or was it
No.
just... So
I thought, I don't get it.
Yeah. Like, I literally don't get it still. I never had that.
I never had the view of wow, look at this support. She's doing this podcast with me because I want her with me, and I'm better with her there. She's doing this for me.
I think women love that when a guy says that and means it, which you clearly do. I don't know why if I say it as a woman about a guy, I want him here because I'm better when I'm with him, do I sound weak? That's my problem, because whenever I associate need with weak. So my mother didn't need anything except food and yelling and whatever.
Yeah. She needs something to be pissed off about.
Yeah.
Because that's the identity. You can't, I mean, I think anyway.
Well, you want to know what's interesting too? I have the lesbian haircut, but I'm growing it longer, and I've bought myself, as my big excuse, I've used dancing as the excuse, all these wigs because like it's super fun to play characters during dancing. And I go, I think I'm learning how to be a girl. Last week, I wore a dress every day. I go, what the freaking T-shirt wearing bitch lesbian doing? I think it's going, okay, there's a little thing I could do to experiment. I could put a toe in versus, oh my God, I'm going to lose myself in this person. I'm used to doing and doing and doing for someone, not having it reciprocated, and then being mad at them for being them. They were just being them.
Yeah.
Like,
You're
what's wrong with
codependent
me?
like me.
Yeah, exactly.
You're doing and doing and doing because you're the caretaker, and then when they don't respond the way you do, you yell like your mother.
Of course.
Yeah, that's right. This is my fault.
mean, it's really great to be this age and still go, oh my God, I can work on this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not stuck in any pattern. Want to know what's ironic? I once in my 20s had a 2-night stand or so with this really hot guy in the village where I was living in the East Village, I think. And he left his cowboy boots there. And I was like, oh my God, he totally likes me. He left them there for life. I swear to God. I was like, one of my gay friends goes, oh my God, he totally likes you. And then he never called me back. And I was like, oh my God. So I gave the gay guy the cowboy boots. I mean, this is my life.
Funny. The title of your book is Searching for the Barefoot Cowboy.
There you go. I mean, it's insane. But no, it's like love is a real big risk.
Oh, yeah.
But yet, think about it, though. With the career, I said, what's the worst that can happen? I go broke and I'm homeless. No, I'm going to live with my mother. Who cares? I'll be
Your mother's
fine.
gonna care.
Yeah, she sure will. I'll kill her. And I'm like, if you go on a date, what's the worst that can happen? You get disappointed. And my shrink said, she goes, guess what your main problem is? Your family never taught you how to handle disappointment. They either fixed things, not Lori Loughlin level, but they fixed things for you. They threw food at the problem.
Oh, yeah.
Or they didn't acknowledge disappointment. Guess what? Maybe you have a shitty date. Guess what? So did all those broads on Sex and the City. But they kept going.
Yeah.
I saw the finale. They all did good.
Right?
So I could too, damn it.
You know what we need?
No.
Better writers.
We do. Indeed. And we shall.
Yes,
sir.
we will. I'm so glad I got to see you again.
Oh, my
sweetheart.
God. Me too. Thank you.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. It's so cool to talk to you. And thank you for doing my podcast. May I give it a shameless plug?
Please do.
Look for Let Lisa Helps. I have my very good friend Adam Ferrara as my guest co-host on one of the episodes, and we get really deep.
Come on, baby. Let's dance.
Yay! Oh,
I want a real hug.
that was great. Hey, this is Lisa Lampanelli, and that was 30 Minutes I'll Never Get Back.
The Adam Ferrara Podcast is brought to you by Beatini Spirits. Premium crafted cocktails, 100% natural flavors, award-winning taste.
And they're very good.
They're very good.
Mm-hmm.
Premium crafted cocktails ready to drink. You can get them wherever you get your booze or at beatinispirits.com. We love them, and they sponsor this show.
Yay.
How great was Lisa?
Yeah.
Can you tell her I left a pair of cowboy boots in her house?
The queen of mean, and now she's in self-help. She's just like, you know,
Amazing.
lose weight, you dummy. You know, but you could see the vulnerability and her addressing her fear of being vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
That was really impressive to me when I was talking to her. She's like,
Yeah.
I think I said in the interview, you know where the monsters are and you're going after it. That's courageous.
I love that.
You also said that you're the best you on stage.
The best version of me is on stage. Yeah.
Yeah, well.
You said that about yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel the same way about me, too.
But I don't agree with that. Maybe because I get to see you in more vulnerable situations because I see you every day being such a mensch.
Mensch?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I think here's what I meant to say. The best version of the experience of me is on stage because I'm not thinking. I'm totally present.
Mm-hmm.
Does that makes any sense?
Yeah.
It's like I can't.
Yeah, I guess for you,
Yeah.
but for me, in the moments I'm talking about, you're very present.
Mm-hmm. Well, with you, I am.
Yeah.
I get that, though, because on stage, everything goes away.
Well,
For that hour, that 45 minutes that you're up there and you're connecting with the audience, everything goes away. All your pain, all your fears, frustrations, everything goes away. That's why when you're sick, you know, like you've done a show with the flu before.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've done that many times. It just goes away for the whole 45 minutes. I'm not sick anymore. It's amazing.
your adrenaline spikes.
Yeah, and then as soon as I get off stage, oh my God, where's a bed? You know, and it's just amazing. It just all comes flooding back as soon as you get off stage.
Well,
There's something about
in your
being up
case,
there.
it's a little different in your case because you're a hypochondriac.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's look.
But if I have the flu, I have the flu. I'm not making it up in my head.
Yeah, but you can't. You're always sick. You're always terrified. You can't go on WebMD anymore because I can't handle it.
I can't go on WebMD.
I get the
that's for
phone
sure.
call in the
one
middle
can.
of the night.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I checked my. I think I need a hysterectomy.
Oh, remember I had
Phil,
multiple sclerosis.
Phil, you don't. Yeah, I had to come over for that one.
What?
Yeah, Phil checked his symptoms on WebMD and he was flipping out. And he
There's
called
something
me.
going on with my eye. I have multiple. I have MS. I have
Tony
MS.
had MS, and I had to get in the car. You said, "Where you going?" I said, "I got to talk Phil down. He thinks he has MS." Go to sleep. I'll come home. You want anything? You want me to pick something on the way home? You want yogurt on the way home? I'll pick it up. And I had to go over and sit with you. I go, "You don't have MS. Let me see what you looked up." No, you don't have MS. You have typhoid.
I was going to say, those vulnerable moments, and Alex, you're talking about with Adam, when you see him off stage and just being present with you,
Yeah.
that's you without the armor, Adam, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we all go through life with that armor on, and when you're with somebody you love, and I guess when you're on stage, that armor's off because that's you as well, but that's you exposed for what you are, and that's that comfortableness you have when you're with somebody that you love, that you can totally be vulnerable and be okay with that.
Mm-hmm. I think I get the extra vulnerable.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I walk around in a onesie.
Ew. Now I have that visual.
Mm-hmm. It's a Spider-Man onesie.
Oh, yeah. Hey, what happened to the Spider-Man you had? I love the Spider-Man.
Oh, my old apartment?
Yeah, I love
I
that
think what
thing.
happened was I turned 13. You know what happened? I had an apartment in Hollywood. and
Yeah.
When the Northridge quake hit, it like messed up. Like my
Spider-Man flew across the
my
ceiling.
when the Northridge quake hit, it shook out my chandelier when I was in this apartment I was renting. So I took the
so you had
chandelier.
to hide it.
No, I took the chandelier down and I hung a heavy bag in my kitchen. So I had this where my kitchen table was. There was a heavy bag.
Yeah, that's normal.
And then there was another hole. I got to cover that hole. So I went, you know what? I'll get an inflatable Spider-Man. And I put Spider-Man
that's
up in the
normal.
corner.
That's where you went in your head. I
Yeah.
have to repair the house.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Yeah. Here's the thing about Spider-Man. He's my favorite superhero because he was a kid from Queens that got bit by a radioactive spider.
Okay.
I'm from Queens.
Yeah.
There were spiders in the basement, and my mother had a microwave. Don't you think I tried? But this is the only thing that bothers me about Spider-Man is he couldn't fly. And I was driving to Vegas, and I was in the desert, and I was thinking to myself, if I need Spider-Man could never save me if I'm in trouble in the desert because there's nowhere for his webs to.
Right. What's he going to grab onto?
I
What's he
never
going to
thought
grab
of
to?
that.
Yeah, and that
cactus
scared.
to cactus.
That
Where's he
scared-
going?
Yeah, and that scared me. And that's when I realized I'm a grown ass man.
Yeah, you are.
And this is what I'm thinking about.
I want to solve that problem.
I think it's time for me to evolve.
Yeah. And take the onesie off while you're at it.
Mark, you had something about vulnerability you were saying?
I admire you guys, anybody that bears themselves in front of somebody. I just think that's such a powerful moment. I mean, I don't want to get into the never ending story of me being single, but that's the hardest thing in the world is to sort of strip down your armor and just sort of express that love for somebody else, because especially when you don't know what they're going to say back to you, you put yourself out there, you hope that it's going to end well, and that's really what life should be all about. It's just putting yourself out there and taking risks and leaving yourself vulnerable.
Well, Mark, I think what I've come, and I know Adam's come to the conclusion, is you have no choice. If you want a relationship to work in a way where, it's legendary or just, deep, pure, you have to be vulnerable. You have to have each other's backs, and you have to, or else it's not going to go to the levels that is quite freeing, actually.
Yeah, what I found is, as much as you want to be steadfast in your beliefs, I had to put aside me for we is what I had to do better. It's like I've always done this way, and it's not working in where I want to go with you. Yeah,
I think it's a choice.
I make my biggest change was now I make choices for the family rather than making choices for myself. And to be honest with you, I'm in a selfish profession. Stand-up is I'm the writer, producer, director, performer, and I get the immediate feedback, and it's all mine. It's all mine. So that's what, even like starting this podcast, I wanted to do it with you guys, but I had to change how I approach making, for lack of a better word, art, because I got to let you guys in and realize that you have no idea what's going on in my head, and I got to
No.
and nor do I want you to. I want to protect you from this, but I have to learn how to communicate that better and be open to see the outcome isn't what I think it is. Most of the time, it's better.
See, but the humility is
Most of the time.
No, most of the time it's better. I'm usually right, you bastards.
No, but the true humility is recognizing all that and being able to be honest with yourself and articulate it. You know what I mean? That's not easy to do. I wanted to say this about Lisa, too, because she mentioned her dance instructor, when he would hug her, it was a full hug. That's how she categorized it, and I love that because
like that, too.
I am a full hugger, and my father was not a full hugger. He'd be like, and you're a half hugger.
Only because I'll tell you what.
You're a half hugger.
I half hug you
Half
only
hugger.
because you rest your balls on my thigh.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, they're hanging. They can't help it. They got to go somewhere.
It's creepy.
They have to go somewhere.
Filter.
Some people are just uncomfortable with the hug, especially men. You know what I mean?
I say
sure.
I'm a hugger.
You are a hugger. You're a great hugger.
Yeah.
And you'll stay in the hug. You know what I mean?
Until I get pissed.
But you're a half hugger. You're a half hugger.
I don't think so.
Yes.
I don't think so.
I never get a full blown hug from you. I go in for the whole hug. I get a half a hug.
After all these years, you don't think I love you?
I know you love me. But
Adam,
I need,
hug him.
But
Hug him.
I need to feel it.
Get up.
Come on, I need to see this. There you go.
How's that? Huh?
Oh, that's a nice
All
hug.
this
I'm putting
docking.
my balls on your thigh right now.
That was
All
nice.
right, that was
That was a
great.
beautiful moment.
That made
Yes,
up.
it was.
That made up for it.
Thank God this is not a video podcast.
That's great.
Yeah. But yeah, it's being vulnerable, and even in a podcast saying this is very vulnerable for me, and that's why I'm glad you guys are here, because
Me too.
if I'm going down, I'm dragging you people with me. Remember, life is hard. Please take it easy on yourself. The pod is ended. Go in peace.
Bye.
Ciao.
Ew. You did it again. This is why I don't fully hug you.
I don't want Phil resting his balls on my thigh either.
Alexa, you don't have a thigh.
Shut up.